Oh my god. What is this? It's the third Metroid. Really? I can't believe it. Hello there. My name is Sam, and I exist. And welcome to the SAMCAST. This is part one of a podcast that I'm starting up. This is as of now, just a stream of consciousness podcast. Maybe in the future, if I think I want to continue this, or if I continue to have things I want to talk about, or get better equipment, I'll start writing down topics that I want to talk about. But right now, I have like a bit in my head that I want to talk about. Like I have some topics I'd like to talk about in my head, just of life in general, and like things I've heard about. And it's whatever. And also, I'll be playing Super Metroid in the background because I mean, it's Super Metroid. And also, since it was the first game I played on my channel back in 2019, I believe. I was such a young boy. Oh, I was so young. I was so young. I don't know what voice I'm doing. Sounds stupid. Anyways, let's continue on to the game. So, I grew up playing this on a small handheld emulator that my brother-in-law got me. And I have to say that I have so many good memories of just playing this game on that little emulator. God, that Christmas was just Metroid themed for me because I got this that it was like I think it was called Dingu Digital or something like that. It was this rectangular white gaming device. It was like the color of it was white and it had a little screen in the middle of it. And fuck, what else was there about it? It had 4 face buttons, a D-pad, 2 tiny little shoulder buttons, and I adored that thing. And I remember the first thing that I played on it was Super Metroid. And the same Christmas that I got that, I also got Metroid Other M for the Nintendo Wii. Yeah, that's one game I'll have to revisit one of these days because that game is just wow. It's a game, all right. I remember I played the shit out of it though. I played the shit out of that game. Yet I I think back now and I know why I played it because I was a dumb kid. And you know those games that you have whenever you're like a dumb kid. And I mean whenever you're when I mean dumb, I mean like you don't know much about the world yet, and you don't really know what is good until you're like at a certain age. And I mean, I think I started like realizing around when I was like 10 years old, whenever games. I started realizing around the age of 10 that games could be bad, which was weird because I started watching like AVGN when I was like 6. Actually, no, 5, I think, younger than that. Anyways, I realized that games could be bad because I rented from the Redbox a game. It was fuck, what was it called? Oh, uh, Wreck-It Ralph for the Nintendo Wii, and that was the day I realized that movie tie-in games could suck. Because I started playing it and I was like, oh no, this is bad. Because I grew up playing movie tie-in games. I played fucking Kung Fu Panda on the Xbox 360, and it was pretty fucking good. It was a fun third-person action platforming beat 'em up. It was a really fun game. And I also played Lego Indiana Jones, I played the demo of Lego Star Wars 2. I played the shit out of that demo. And but I mainly played Lego Indiana Jones and Kung Fu Panda. And my brother gave me his copy of the Orange Box, so I grew up playing Portal and Half-Life. God, this all sparked off from me talking about Metroid Other M. Anyways, I grew up playing a lot of cool games as a kid. And Metroid Other M, I've tried playing it again in the past, and I just can't. It is a very, very weird game, but it's a weird game that I want to give a chance because it is an interesting, like, it's an interesting part of like Metroid history. Because when it came out, it was hated. I think it still is hated. I'm sure it has its fans. It's like I'm hoping that I have the reaction to it that I had with Escape from LA. And those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the sequel to Escape from New York. Escape from LA is it's not I don't know how to describe how Escape from LA is such a weird fucking movie. It's good, like really good. But at the same time, compared to the original, it it's not they're not like very comparable. Well, the original Escape from New York, I see it more as like a thriller than an action movie because the action in it isn't very good. Escape from LA is just an action. It's a B movie action film, and I fucking love it. It's so stupid and silly, yet it has like the most fucking awesome ending. I suggest watching it, but I hope that I have the reaction to Metroid Other M like I did with the first time I watched Escape from LA. Because the first time I watched Escape from LA, I was expecting to not enjoy myself, and I enjoyed myself immensely. Like I had a fun time watching that movie. But who knows? Maybe I won't enjoy Metroid Other M. That's whatever though. Okay, alright, let's get the hell out of here. Okay, so I grew up playing this, and I also played Metroid Fusion on the GBA. I had my brother's old GBA SP that he gave to me when I was like tiny, and I played that and Donkey Kong Country 2, which I'll get to that in a minute. But Metroid Fusion, I think, is like it's a comfort game. I've played it so much in the past that I legitimately like know it like the back of my hand. It's such a good like game, and it did a good job of making me like wonder, like it helped like my imagination as a kid was fucking huge, and Metroid Fusion really helped like it made me like I had that moment in game like when I was playing games where I started wondering about like what's in this room, what's in that room. Like I started questioning like I was like I had this it was like fuck I don't know how to describe it, but it was great, and it also scared the shit out of me. The SAX scared me, but I think what I remember scaring me the most was a certain boss battle. It's like this spider that you gotta shoot in, like you have to shoot it in its mouth. That boss scared the shit out of me as a kid, which is weird because I guess I think it was the way it was introduced and the noises that it made. Because I was fucking terrified of that thing. I was terrified. I didn't really I didn't really know how to beat it, and so I just ever since that point I stopped playing that game at that point. And then as I got older, I figured out how to beat it and became less scared of it. Yeah. Yeah, that's my history with Metroid. It all started with my brother showing me this game, and a fun little story that I already told in one of my older videos, but I'll tell right now because no one's gonna watch any of my older videos. But if you do end up watching one of those old videos that I made back when I was a dumb high schooler, well, I mean, thanks. I recommend you listen to me now, but I mean, you do you. I don't give a shit. It's just I don't really like the old videos that I made too much. It's very just, I'm dumb. I don't really know what's entertaining. I'm just doing it because I want to. And that's actually the same attitude I have, just that I guess I'm better at talking now. Anyways, the old story that I had was, that I have to tell is, the first time I saw this game was when my brother brought out the old Super Nintendo. This is like around 2006, I think. And they brought it out and they were showing it to me. They brought out my brother and my sister were showing me the Super Nintendo, and brother brought out fucking Super Metroid. And on the front cover is Ridley attacking Samus, and I thought Ridley looked like a crab. So whenever they began whenever my brother started up the game, he started a new game, and as soon as like the screen faded out, I very excitedly said, "Uh-oh, here comes the crabs!" And I fucking my brother and sister lost it like hysterically. I doubt that either of them remember that, but I do, and I remember it fondly. I used to play. I remember I used to play a lot of shit. Now that I think about it, I had a Nintendo Wii when I was growing up, and come on, motherfucker, there we go. And I remember my brother bought Super Mario 64 and Super Castlevania 4. And I remember waking up early in the morning and playing those games. I would let my Wii stay on. I would let my brother's Wii stay on overnight, and I would play Super Castlevania 4. And or was it my Wii? It depends on. I'm trying to think. Fuck, I forget. Because at a certain point in time, my brother's Nintendo Wii became my Nintendo Wii, because I broke his laptop, and then he had to ask my dad for money for a new laptop, and he gave my dad the Nintendo Wii as like well, here, you can have this, because I don't need it anymore. And my dad's like, alright. And then he gave me the Nintendo Wii. I don't remember. Anyways, I grew up, I remember waking up sick and playing Mario Galaxy, and I remember waking up and just playing Super Castlevania 4 before I went to school. Ah, man, that's good memories. Good memories. I'll have to play those sometime on this channel, on this podcast. These are I plan on having these videos like be at least like 30 minutes to an hour long, because that's really usually how long I want to talk and like play certain games, I guess, because I'm playing like a bunch of other games that I'm not going to be talking about while I play, or like talking about things while I play it, because they're like games I want to focus on. I'm playing this because, well, I kind of want to, start anew, But at the same time, it's just a game that I already know, so I'm not going to be like paying attention much about it. My brain is, I like both sides of my brain are working right now. There's one side that is talking, and there's one side that's playing. That's the best way I can describe it. All right. Okay. So I also remember a little thing that I'm starting to remember now. We had all three of like the major consoles at the time. We had the Nintendo Wii, but we also had an Xbox 360 and a PS3. My brother bought them all because, well, he was still into video games when I was a kid, but he eventually grew out of them, which, I understand. I think he did it because he was just not having fun with them anymore, which, that's fine. I'm still playing them because, well, I've got nothing else to do, but I still like video games as like a little escape from reality. Anyways, we had all three major video game systems, and my brother bought a PS3 in like 2009. I remember coming home after seeing the movie Avatar late at night. My dad, he came to pick me up from school, and he said, "We're gonna go see Avatar." And I'm like, "Hell yeah! What's Avatar?" And I saw it in the theater, and all I remember is that it had good effects, and that's it. And then we came home, and my brother was setting up the PS3 in the living room, and I was like, "Ooh, what's that?" And then the next day, I remember playing. His PS3 came with Infamous, that superhero video game, and it came with Uncharted: Drake's Fortune. I remember getting stuck in Uncharted, and I remember just fucking around playing Infamous. But my brother also bought like some PlayStation games, like early PlayStation, like PlayStation 1 games. And one of the games he bought was Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. And oh my god, that game is fucking amazing. Shit, okay, now I have to kind of concentrate. Ah, no! Fuck. Okay, you bastard. Alright. Come on, you. So, I remember the first time I saw Oddworld, my brother was like, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing this game when I was a kid," and I'm like, "Really? What is this?" And it was the first level. Whenever it was the first level of the game, all the way up to the like the end part before you escape Rupture Farms and you get to like the stockyard chase. And I was immediately like blown away by the visuals. Like Oddworld is one of the most visually like beautiful games I've ever fucking played. It still holds up like years after it came out. That game came out like 1997, which is like fuck 25 years ago now, or like around 20 something years ago. Which that's mind blowing that that game is that old and it still looks just as good. I mean, you do have the fact that like you can tell that some of it's compressed because it's a PlayStation 1 game, but that's just a bit of the that's just how it was back in the day. You can only hold so much data on a CD. And I mean, that game is technically like really impressive now that I think about it, because I think the way Lorne Lanning described it in an interview that he did. Lorne Lanning, by the way, is the main guy who created Oddworld. He is the CEO of Oddworld Inhabitants, the developers of the Oddworld series, and he did this 3 hour long interview with, I think it was Arts Technica, and he described how they were doing how they programmed the game to work, and he said that the game is constantly loading data from the disk. I think some games usually just load data and store it into RAM, but Oddworld is constantly like loading information from the disk because there's backgrounds that are moving. It's like has FMV that is playing while the person is controlling the game. I think that's my understanding of it. And also, it's just that game is just so cool. I really like Oddworld. I'll have to play it sometime. But if I ever play Oddworld on this podcast, I'll mostly just be paying attention to Oddworld, and it might be boring or it might be interesting. I don't know. Okay, let's think of something else to talk about. I've been talking about childhood shit. Let's talk about life right now for me. Right now I've just been staying at home mostly. I ain't really have anything to do. I don't have a car. I'm still like learning to drive a bit. I mean, I have my permit now, but I'm still at that point where I took the classes, but now is the time for me to actually drive the car. And it's easier said than done is the best way I can describe how I feel about driving a car, because when I was taking my driving classes, I was thinking to myself, wow, this is really simple and easy. And then I started driving with my mother, and I'm like, oh god, this is scary and nervous. But over time, I've gotten used to being around other people on the road. I'm an introvert. I care too much about what other people think about me, which, it's stupid, but that's just how I am. And worrying about other people on the road is scary because, I mean, I pay attention to other people on the road. I'm a defensive driver, but I worry about fucking up, and I know I'm gonna fuck up. It happens. Everyone fucks up, you know, especially on the road. And I just need to accept that. I need to accept that I'm gonna mess up, and if people get angry at me, that's fine. They have every right to get angry about my mishap, and if they get like a bit too angry, then that's their own fault for, getting angry over something so trivial like, well, I mean, on the road you could fucking die because, you're in a car, a giant hunk of metal that can go at like 100 miles per hour. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna move on from this topic. Fuck. Um. Shit. Well, during the first like couple of months after graduation, it was pretty nice. I gotta say, it was very relieving. It was very relaxing to know that I won't have to go back to school anymore. because my experience with school was very eh. The best way I could describe it is just eh. You know, I had some good years, and my senior year was like my best year at school. Like actually like in fucking like high school. Like it was my favorite because it I was relaxed all throughout it. I was getting my assignments done like at school, so I had like no fucking homework to do. And it was just relaxing because I like every day would just be like this. I would get there and I'd just put on my headphones and tune out the world. The first half of school I listened to Talking Heads, which is a band that I like. I listened to them a lot. I still do, but I listened to them like all throughout the first half of fucking senior year. All the way up to like December, I think. And and then I like stopped and I started like listening to more music. Actually, no, that happened like throughout October. I started listening to Peter Gabriel. I started to listen to a lot of music now that I think about it. Peter Gabriel is one of them. Iron Maiden, though I think I'd already been into Iron Maiden around that time. Who else am I thinking of? Fuck. Uh, I don't know. Fuck. What am I? See, this is what happens whenever I'm like focusing on talking while playing a game. I do stupid shit like that. Anyways, Peter Gabriel's one of the artists I listen to, and I don't know. I'll have to fucking look it up. Genesis, Genesis with Peter Gabriel in it, like early Genesis, without Phil Collins. I started listening to them a lot, thanks to my brother, and yeah, I think when it comes to music, I like older type of music. Yeah, I don't really like new music, cause I mean, music is it's. I have no problem with people liking modern music. I mean, you like what you like because it's what you like, you know? I ain't gonna judge anybody on what they like because I don't want people to judge me on what I like, you know? But my opinion on modern music nowadays is that it all sounds the same. More specifically, like, there's a lot of snare beats in music now. And what I mean by that is that, like that beat. I swear to God, I hear that fucking everywhere. Fucking everywhere. And like every like modern song that I hear on the radio, it has that snare beat. Well, not every modern song, but a lot of like rap music, like music that I hear my like siblings listen to, has that fucking snare beat. And I hate it because it's overused. It's like in those love ballad type of songs where you have the drum beat where it's like it's that real banging music. It's like part of a song. I think it's like a drum beat and like if I'm trying to like a lot of Disney songs, like ending credits Disney songs have that drum beat I just did. And I liked it as a kid because I thought it was very like, oh, it's very peaceful. But I realize now that it's in a lot of music and I hate it. And you know, it's whatever. I mean, if you like it, that's fine. I don't care. But me, it bothers me because I hear it so much and it just drives me fucking crazy. Eh. Not saying I don't like there are some like newer songs that I do like. That's mostly by like not unknown artists, but like well fuck, I don't even know the name of some of these songs or like these artists. There's one where it's fuck, what is it called? It's one that my sister showed me, where it's like it goes like this, like don't mess with me, I'm a big boy now and I'm very scary, something something this and that. I don't remember the fucking lyrics, like something like that. That's like the bit of the song that I remember, and I liked it because well, it was different, but it just sounded nice. it was about a kid growing up and like, you know, being a kid, playing with bugs. I used to play with bugs. I used to fucking I remember there was like a one night where I went on like a chewed bug killing massacre. Like I just massacred a bunch of fucking chewed bugs. Shit. Why am I no, I'm running away from this thing. I sat outside my garage while my like family was just sitting out there talking, and I remember I was eating that Jolly Rancher taffy candy, and I had Jolly Rancher taffy in my mouth, a stick in my right hand, and I was just smashing the shit out of Jute bugs. Yeah, that was very serial killery. Now that I think about it. Well, serial killers usually like, oh god, that's very nice to bring up, Sam. Fucking comparing your child self to a serial killer. Actually, I think about it, I know more about serial killers now than I did when I was 16. Mainly because I took forensics class at high school, and fuck, forensics class. This is me branching off into different types of shit. This is just how every podcast is probably gonna be. But anyways, forensics class was fun. My forensics teacher is like my favorite fucking teacher I ever had. She she helped me get through senior year. As good as senior year was, I was still a mess. Like I was nervous about everything, and I was just constantly like jittery, just like. And my forensics teacher helped me through it. She understood that I was growing up, and she's like, Sam, you have invasive thoughts. You're worrying too much about this and that. You need to just think about yourself. You are important right now. Your emotions are important. Your feelings are important. Just keep being you. You know, just keep on doing good. You're a good person, and it helps so much. She was that lady was like the best teacher I ever had, and I haven't talked with her since graduation. Hope to see her again, but yeah. Back to serial killers. I know more about serial killers now because of fucking forensics class. We talked about we would talk about, you know, crime scenes, and we would have to like do reports and research papers about, you know, actual real life crimes that happened. And the most fucked up one that I remember reading about was, and oh god, this is very messed up to bring up. I realize now the music that's about to start playing matches this too well. It's about to be the plant music. But yeah, the guy that I'm about to bring up is a sick son of a bitch with a very disgusting backstory, like a very sad backstory. But what he did is still fucking disgusting. His name is Albert Fish. I had never heard about this guy until forensics class, and I wish I'd never heard about him in the first place. Albert Fish is a very infamous serial killer. He was born in like the 1917, like 1910s, and or like I think no 1800s. I don't know. His mother abandoned him as a child, and he was put into this fucking a dot this what are they called? Uh 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 an orphanage. He was put into an orphanage, and he got made fun of by all the other kids. They called him Ham and Eggs, which I don't know why. I don't remember why he was called that, but yeah, he was tortured as a child, and as he grew up, and he his mother came back and got him from the orphanage when she had enough money, but still his time at the orphanage fucked with him so much, and he oh god, I'm trying to remember this. He ended up kidnapping this girl. He found a job in like a newspaper, and when he went to go like meet them, he was like, "Oi, I like your daughter. I'd like to take her with me to this party." And they're like, "Okay, guy that we just met, I trust you." And he took this 14-year-old girl out to this like abandoned house, and he stripped naked and did very, very bad things to her and killed her, and then cut her up and ate her. I think I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure he fucking ate her because he wrote a letter to the parents because after she went missing, they were worried about her and he was questioned. And this was like the fourth person I think he killed up to that point. He killed like a bunch of other kids beforehand, but this was like the straw. This is the one that got him caught. And he wrote a letter where he went into detail about how he ate her, what he did to her. I'm not going to go into it because, well, not only do I not remember, but what I do know, I don't want to bring up because that's just fucked up and it's disgusting. If you want to look up what he did, just look him up on your own. I don't recommend you do. I recommend you forget about him. But yeah, that guy's fucking disgusting. And when he was executed, little thing I just want to add at the end of this anecdote. Whenever he was executed by electric chair. He stabbed his genitals with like needles, so it would be more pleasurable because he was into that type of shit. So whenever it shocked him, the current would go through his dick. Ain't that just a nice story to think about, huh? Ain't that just a real fucking nice... that's... Alright, let's get away from serial killers now. Let's talk about, movies. Alright, so... movies. I like movies. I really like movies. I like movies just as much as I like video games. And I think movies nowadays are... well, I need to watch more modern movies because... where am I gonna go? I need to watch more modern movies because I don't really like modern movies nowadays because usually it's just whatever's in the theater, it really doesn't catch my mind or like catch my attention. I think well, I mean I have seen like modern movies in the theaters. I like the Sonic the Hedgehog movies a lot. They're pretty good, like really fun movies. And the last movie I think I saw in the theater was Jackass Forever, which was fucking hilarious. No, that's a lie. I'm a dumbass. The last movie I saw in the theater was the recent Dragon Ball Super movie, which was fantastic. I loved it. I am going to buy it on Blu-ray and watch it a lot because I thought it was pretty fucking good. But yeah, modern movies nowadays really just none really catches my eye. And the things that really catch my eye are like indie films, like which one am I thinking of? Fucking, god damn it! What am I'm trying to remember what recent indie film, like indie stuff that's on like Shudder, or like like horror stuff, like movies like or not even indie film stuff. Like I still need to watch what's that recent film? Wait, why am I going up there? Everything Everywhere All at Once looks really fun. And it looks like a really fun movie. That's like something that caught my eye, but I sadly did get to see it in the theater because I don't know really. I think I was too late. I was too late to see it. I didn't hear about it until like my brother brought it up, and I was probably just busy doing other shit. I don't know. It's I need to watch it still, but that's a movie that I need to watch. I can't wait to watch. But also nowadays it's just like superhero movies that are like the big box office movies and all that, like I'm just not interested in them. Like not all movies that come out in the theater are superhero movies, but the majority of films that even catch my eye, like don't even seem like they'd be good. Like what was that fucking recent like comedy with oh my god. Fuck. Alright. With what's her face? Was it Jennifer no. Not Jennifer Aniston. I forget her name. The lady who was in fucking Speed with Keanu Reeves. The Lost City. I saw a little bit of it on TV. My dad was watching it, and it looked fucking terrible. It did not look like a good movie, but I may be wrong. I'll have to watch it all the way through. But from what I saw, it looked like generic garbage. And that's usually what I kind of think about a lot of movies nowadays, which is sad. Because I like older movies because when I think about older movies, I think back to how they used to be made. I like I like older special effects. Modern like Marvel films don't impress me, not one bit, because it's just a bunch of CG. I'm sure they have some practical elements on set for the actors to interact with, but it's mostly what we get to see on screen is CG, and I don't like that because I think CG is an amazing fucking tool. It is a really, really like fantastic tool, but it's replaced like practical effects in modern like AAA like big budget Hollywood movies. I mean, you do get the usual like film like Quentin Tarantino or not Martin Scorsese, Christopher Nolan. You get like the usual like one of their movies that have like an abundance of like really cool practical effects, but like Marvel films, the only one I really cared about was fucking Endgame. That was the last one I saw in the theater, and then after that, I didn't give a shit. I stopped giving a shit because it's. I think they've run out of steam. Like really, they've run out of steam. And the only Marvel thing I'm interested in right now is Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's because it's James Gunn, and the first two Guardians films are fucking hilarious. But yeah, I think Marvel is. It's not just because it's their overuse of computer graphics. It's more or less just that it. I don't like superhero movies too much. I mean, I like superhero movies, but there are just too many fucking superhero like movies and TV shows now. It's overstayed its welcome. We need to move on to something else. And if you like those movies, I mean, that's fucking awesome. I'm glad people enjoy them. I'm not saying that I want something new. And I mean, we're getting new stuff, but I want like a new IP, like that's not based on a comic or anything. I'm tired of fucking seeing older IPs getting sequels or like getting remakes or reboots, like Star Trek or fucking Star Wars or fucking Alien or fucking Predator or fucking uh RoboCop or I don't know what else is there. I hope to God they never remake Back to the Future. I'm looking at like stuff that I have on my wall right now, and I have a Back to the Future poster on my wall, and I hope to God a remake or reboot or sequel never comes back out because it's I want something new. We've already we've had our fun with these franchises. Now it's time to put them away and come up with new shit. But no, we gotta fucking deal with reboots. And I'm not saying all reboots are bad. I'm sure there are some good ones out there that I haven't seen yet, and there are good remakes. But the usual ones that come up are like the 80s horror movie remakes, like The Thing, or The Fly, or Invasion of the Body Snatchers, or The Blob. You know? It's never like, usual remakes nowadays. I mean, the other fucking day I saw that they're remaking, A League of Their Own, that baseball movie with Gina Davis. They're remaking that into a TV show. And I saw reviews of it, and apparently it's not good. I don't know why you need to remake a movie like that. We shouldn't remake fucking movies that are already like well reviewed and good. We should remake movies that are um fucking bad or like they need a remake. Not bad, like say something like I don't know. Fuck, what am I thinking of? Remake a movie like Memoirs of an Invisible Man. If you don't know what that is, that's a John Carpenter movie starring Chevy Chase and Sam Neill and Daryl Hannah. I think that's how you say her name. Came out in 1992 and it bombed. It wasn't well reviewed, but it has an interesting concept. A guy inexplicably becomes invisible, and we get to see the mishaps and the mishaps and adventures that he goes on. And it has comedic elements, but its tone is more serious. So it's like all over the place. The movie tries to be a comedy, but it also tries to be like very serious at the same time. And it's an entertaining movie, well, mainly because it has really good effects done by ILM. But at the same time, it's just, it has a bit of a problem. And I think that movie needs to be remade because you could make a good movie with that plot. You just need to, I think, make it a bit more funny. I mean, a serious Invisible Man movie. We got into serious Invisible Man movies. We need a movie with the Invisible Man character that's like a comedy. We need one of those ASAP because it would be funny to have like the Invisible Man. I don't know. What if the Invisible Man like getting into mishaps while being invisible? Like that movie could have been fucking hilarious. Like it could have been a full-on like I don't know like comedy in vein of like Blues Brothers or one of the older like Ivan Reitman or John Landis comedies, but nah, it was just a bit too serious. I mean, it's still enjoyable. I like it, but it could be better. And I just think movies like that need to be remade. They should remake fucking let's think of a movie that should be remade. Um oh, no, I'm trying to I'm coming up with a blank here. Damn it. I don't know. I can't think of anything else. They just don't remake movies that are already good. Remake movies that kind of need to be remade. Like, I mean, I'd be up for, I mean, as good as the Blob remake is, for the 80s remake, I'm up to see, like, a reboot of the Blob, just in the similar style of the original, I guess. But that's only because the Blob remake, it has good things about it, but I could see more being done with that movie. Like, the Blob at, like, a bigger scale, no longer at, like, a small town type of thing. Like, if I think actually here let me rephrase what I said earlier. Remake movies that need remakes, but also remake movies that could be built upon. You have like that have more ideas that could be introduced. Like how cool would it be if you saw the Blob like eating an entire like what if the Blob ate New York City? Think of it. What if the Blob grew to the size of New York City? How fucking awesome would that be? Shit. Okay, I'm gonna have to focus on this real quickly. Shit. There we go. Bye-bye, Kraid. But yeah, like, what if the Blob invaded, like, a bigger town and got, like, fucking huge? And, like, in it you see, like, corpses that are, like, half digested and still alive, like thousands of people, like, you know? Like, how awesome would that be? Because in the Blob remake, you get to see people, like, half digested and still alive. I think the one that terrified me the most as a kid, other than well, I don't want to go into it because that movie needs to be seen. I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, that movie is fucking amazing. The Blob remake. That is a really good like horror film. Show it to your kids. It'll scare them and give them nightmares. But yeah, it's a good movie. Remake huh. Fucking remake. I don't know. No. Oh, let's refill my missiles. Shit. Remake. Um, Highlander? maybe, because that movie is a bit weird. I mean, Highlander's fucking great, but that movie really doesn't make sense. I'd like to see like a retelling of it with like, maybe more awesome sword fight. I mean, there's awesome sword fights in that movie, but like maybe bigger and like more. I don't know. I'd like to see it with a plot that makes better sense, I guess, or is better. Well, I don't know. This is just, yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'm right on that one. Don't remake Highlander. Forget what I said. I'm a fucking moron. eh. All right. Okay. I don't know if there's anything else I want to bring up this stream. I'm about to close this out. I'm gonna find a save point and end off. But yeah, here's an interesting thing. We don't really see a lot of video game well, we do see some video game remakes, but I'd say video game remakes are different than movie remakes because the video game remakes, you could take a game from the 90s because I think when it comes to movies and games age worse than movies probably. Not all of them, but like there are some that have aged worse because, say like Wolfenstein 3D. That game hasn't aged very well because of its controls. It doesn't really. I don't think it has the old original version of that game doesn't have a strafe button, or maybe it does. I don't know. It hasn't aged well because it was before they really refined before id Software really refined a first-person shooter like a game like Doom, which also has, well, Doom has aged a bit better. It's just that its level design, or not its level design, but its like gameplay is its gameplay is fun, but it's this is just personally for me. I've only ever played all the way through Doom once, and I can't play through it anymore because I just get a headache after a while. Yeah, that's something I'll have to remember to talk about. Let me make note of it. Anyways, this is the end of part one of this podcast. I've played for long enough. I'm getting tired. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. This me just talking about random bullshit. I expect these to become way longer than 50 minutes. But yeah, this is part one of how many other parts of the SAMCAST. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. Let me know your thoughts about if you like what I said, and hell, bring up some, topics I can talk about in the next podcast that I make. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hope y'all have a good rest of your day. See ya.